Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all for being here. So what I want to do today is that we're going to put things more or less back together again, because we've been focusing on certain aspect of the entire ascension process. And I want to give you an overview and then focus on, at the end, on a way to do the torsion field while incorporating things we have learned in the past few months. The ascension process, and there are many paths. The path of neutrality we're learning from Lord Melchizedek is a very specific path. However, all a path of ascension must traverse three basic yogas. The first is a yoga that's connected to knowledge, information, and the gathering and the understanding of information. I have found many other ascension mechanic, or the teachers who are teaching ascension mechanic, to be heavily invested in that kind of like cerebral, intellectual information about levels and tiers. We have some of it in the torsion field. We have some of it in the list, for example, the Antakarana and the various chakras, first 7 chakras, and the chakra 15 to chakra 8 to 15, 4-dimensional, etc., all the way back to God. So we have some of it, but there are other systems that are heavily, heavily based on this. So that's one aspect, which is the knowledge, the information, to understand how far we've descended and what's the journey back, right? And it involves also spiritual practices to try to energetically shift our bodies from the physical realm into the spiritual realm, which we have as well. But there is 2 other parts that are equally important. The second part, it's the yoga that deals with karma. It's dealing with not only the karma that you have with other people that have now followed you in this lifetime because of energetic imbalances, either because you gave or you received energetically from them incorrectly, or you were emotionally unintelligent, or socially unintelligent, or spiritually unintelligent. This is why we spent so many years working on those 3 parts: emotional intelligence, social intelligence, and spiritual intelligence, right? And it's extremely important. And then what we need to do, having learned these skills, is to apply it to the people that are in our life, specifically our own blood relative and family members, because they're reincarnated with us, because they are the one that can push our button the most. And we have to figure out a way to balance the karma so that you don't have to keep reincarnating. Because without the karma being balanced or being at 51%, there is no ascension. You're going to be so bottom heavy, you can't uplift. So it means that you have to learn how to release, forgive them, forgive yourself. You have to say the Ho'oponopono, please forgive me, I love you, and I let go. You have to do enough of that to allow for your interconnection to other people that may be toxic to change into interdependence. Instead of it being toxic, it end up being beneficial, where everybody is interdependently connected, realizing that for the growth and the benefit of the collective, we're going to work together as one unified machine. The final part is the yoga that's connected to service. And they are actually spiritual practices where the whole ascension yoga is only about service. So in any practice that's balanced, even what we're doing, there are parts that are connected to the knowledge, the understanding. Galactic equator crossing, when is it going to happen? The predictions, the understanding and the knowledge, right? The higher chakras, the torsion field, the monad, how many pieces are, how do I reassemble them? All the stuff that we've been working on, which is the knowledge. Then the way the knowledge hits the road, it's when you begin to apply that knowledge into the karma to balance out the karma, so that you learn in this lifetime, the people who have reincarnated with you, that you learn to be neutral to them. You learn to stop being emotional and emotionally responsive and reactive to the triggers that they're going to throw at you. Particularly now that Mercury is retrograde, well, shadow period now. There's one more Mercury retrograde session that's at the end, toward November, that's coming up as well. These are always opportunities for us, for the past to show up, and for us to try to rebalance and recalibrate those emotional imbalances by making the right decision, by not letting ourselves be triggered by things, and by making ourselves align to, and asking ourselves, if God and Goddess were walking in my footsteps today, what would she or he be doing at this moment? How would she react to that kind of trigger? So a lot of the times when my students and friends and families try to trigger me, I walked away. I don't respond right away. I walked away because there's a part of me that could be quite strong and volcanic and spicy. I rather calm down first, process, and respond from an ascended way. In other words, trying to find neutrality within myself to balance out the karma, right? And then service is how you give and you share. Once you have that alignment inside of you, how do you now share that with the world? How do you help others find the same serenity, the same peace, the same liberation that you're feeling at this moment? You serve. You participate in groups, you give to charity, you're present there for the people in your community, you're present for your friends, you're present for all kinds of things that are happening around you. So those are the basic 3 yogas. And literally people in any real ascension mechanic, you will find that at the moment it's about the knowledge, at more other moment it's about applying the knowledge, and at final moment it's about sharing the knowledge, which is the service. Sharing the peace, the serenity, the understanding, and the breakthroughs that you're getting, without trying to what do you call that? And all of it has to be done in a manner where the ego and the personality has to be subdued throughout all of this. Don't make it so personal and toxic where the ego is so standing in the way, where you're walking around. I had shared last week that I know people, for example, who feel blessed by God or highly favored by God, and they think that they are giving testimonial, but it's not a testimonial. They are bragging that they are favored by God and they are so special. For me, God is always with me. I'm so grateful because God, and they think it's gratitude, but what they are doing is that they are setting themselves up for the test of Job. Because when you walk around like this, parading around, because Job and his household were this way. They bragged all the time they were favored by God, and they were favored by God. And because they were bragging so much, that's how come Satan noticed them. And that's how come the test came toward them. There's an old saying the people back in the Caribbean used to say all the time, stop saying things out loud because you don't know who's listening. Because sometimes a testing or malevolent spirit may be listening to you, and because you're saying it out loud, they may end up putting you through the test, right? So you have to make sure that throughout all of this, that your ego is not involved, that you're trying to be as neutral and as humble as possible throughout all of this. Because the more you brag around and you're telling people this, that, or the other, you inflate the sense of who you are and what you are. And particularly now, as we're approaching ascension, and we're going to get quite elevated and have a lot of insight, not only about ourselves, but more importantly, it would be easy for you to see the weaknesses in others. It will be extremely easy for you, because the moment you get that first step, the Christ initiation at the 12th level of initiation, you will be able to see very easily what other people, what's struggling that they're going through. So Dr. Stone said it to me years ago, when I became a branch leader for him. He said to me, Pierre, with great power comes great responsibility. You're about to approach great power. You need to have wisdom to control that power. And that wisdom only comes from the emotional intelligence, this social intelligence, and the spiritual intelligence, where you will know that wisdom is actually power used rightly. There are times where you have to walk away from confrontation, not because you're weak. I've said this to you before. Not because you're weak, but just the opposite. Because you know you're a giant. And because you're so big and you're a giant, you have to move gingerly. You have to move gently. Because if you are too rash with your response, you could disintegrate and incinerate a whole bunch of things around people. You could really shake them. So it's important for you to realize this, particularly when the first level happens. You become so big that you begin, let me just say this as well, that because it's a state of elevation and awareness that you never had before, when it happened initially for the first few months, you're going to make several mistakes, meaning you're going to overreact, and and as you overreact, you're going to end up hurting, not intentionally. You're going to end up, I'm giving you real clear understanding and warning. You're going to unintentionally hurt other people because it's like you enter into a new body, literally. And you're so big, you don't realize that a small thought and intention on your part can begin to shake and create this butterfly effect. Okay? And when the result comes back to you, you're going to realize, oops, my thinking or my reaction or my statement, which was kind of like flew out of my mouth without me thinking, is the reason why this reaction occurred in the universe, because now the universe is listening to me. So you need to be very aware, and again, you're going to make mistakes. You will not be able to reel those back and change them, because there are many in all my training so far, in all the years I've been studying this, and I've been trying to elevate all of you, because all of you are with me in Egypt. I've been trying to elevate you and do this for over 4,450 years. And I know a lot of mechanics and techniques on how to get you to that level, but there is no book that has ever been written about when you become ascended, how that will look like and what's the code of conduct and behavior, like, let's say, a la 10 Commandments for someone who's ascended. Okay? It doesn't exist. But it does exist. It's not written down. It's written in the very fabric of your soul. That it's not that the ascended and the higher community are going to tell you, thou shalt not, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. That's not what's going to happen. But when you're about to do something, when you're in that state of elevation and you're about to do something that's forbidden, or that goes against ascended law or further spiritual development, a whisper or a wave of a voice will come and crash into you and say, where you are right now, you cannot think this way. Stop. And you need to yield and obey and listen to that voice. I want to be very clear about this, because the first few times you're going to make mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. And when you make the mistake, you're going to be extremely sorry. You're going to go, mea culpa, mea culpa. Does that mean I'm going to fall? I'm going to descend? No, those are about a child that's learning how to walk, that has to fall down multiple times. You're not going to descend because of it. This is part of the learning process. will there be a small karma for connected to it? Yes. But because of all the positive thing you're going to be doing now of sharing the service going forward, that will be washed out. And I'm being very honest with you. What will happen is that the memory of the few things that you did wrong while you first started being elevated, those memories are going to haunt you for a long time. That you were not good enough. You're going to go, mea culpa, mea maxima culpa. I shouldn't have done, I should have done, I should not have done. But understand that's part of the process. This is the way, because you got to walk in a completely different, bigger, and more elevated body, where your thoughts are going to manifest like this. And you have to be very careful what you think. That's why I've been trying to train you for so all these years about neutrality. Now, I was talking to a friend, I was sharing with a few of you before the class began, that I have seen a friend I had not seen in a long time was talking to me about a teacher that's very popular, that has a community in the South of America, in the South of the US, and about a community where they are all learning, and it's all intellectual and DNA activation and 48 strand of DNA and this, that, and this kind of, you know, this one is a crystalline being, that one is a rainbow, that one, all of that information or that stuff that a lot of the light community, it's very popular. But I've said this, and in my conversation with her, she was sharing with me some information about the leaders of that community and some of the shenanigan, sexual and otherwise, that was going in between the leaders. And I said to her, that's the key. With great power comes great responsibility. None of the ascended masters will think of sleeping with any one of us. Okay? So when you have that kind of power, you cannot use that kind of power and influence to try to manipulate and seduce others into some sort of like obligation toward you. Either to be your slave or to, if you're doing this, that's abuse of power. Those are people who become Twilight Masters. They elevate to a level, and then beyond that point, they can't go any further. Not in this lifetime. Okay? They have the first increase, the first part of ascension, which is the power increase, but they can't move any further. And again, as I said, watch yourself, monitor yourself daily, do your daily, and you will know. And as you're doing the wrong, or about to do the wrong action, you will know. Because that your higher self will tell you, no, you cannot do this. No, you cannot think this way. Sometimes I think incorrectly, and then that voice comes back and said, cancel it. Cancel it. Remove that thought in the ether. Because it has the potential of creating negative circumstances. And I'm like, okay, immediately cancel. I'm redrawing it back from the universe. Any questions, any comments so far? All of us know people who are leaders, because they're all out there, that are doing all kinds of things. And again, how do you determine if someone is truly ascended or if someone is pretending to be ascended? The demonstration of power is not enough. There are lots of people who are psychic or intuitive or mind readers. It doesn't mean that they ascended. Where the rubber meets the road is in their interaction with their student and their loved ones. And if you see them abusing other people, walk away. There is no light in that environment.
Yeah, 100%. As a teacher, we have responsibility anyways. I mean, even as a yoga teacher too, it's the same thing. They are drawn to your light, especially when you do work on yourself and you expand your light coat, and you know, they look up to you and they are fascinated by you. And if you abuse that power, then, you know, that's really very unascended acts, and they become vulnerable basically when they're your students. Any type of teaching, Reiki teaching, yoga teaching, ascension teaching, and anybody who abuses, and there are a lot of people who abuse that power, is really not on the right path and not in the right space either. So it's a very big responsibility.
Yep. Yep. And
Yeah.
you're so right, Malcolm. And I know so many of these. Just last week, I had to put somebody in check.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I had a dime for all of students, clients, both male and female, who asked me out, I would be a wealthy man.
Oh yeah, yeah. Here, same here. Or fascinate, or stalk you. I mean, oh my God,
Stop me.
it goes on and on and on.
I had somebody that was stalking me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I just literally like 2 weeks ago, I put him in check. I had
And
to.
sometimes it's so hard for them to get it that you have to
No, he's not.
repeatedly
I,
put wall over wall over wall over wall
yeah,
until
yeah,
it's crazy.
I had to say to him very clearly,
Yeah,
we are not dating.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, sometimes you have to be really frank, like
I,
straight up, because
I have,
they don't
I
get
have to
any
be
other
very
language.
direct. I have to be very direct. I
Yeah,
Many times people have interpreted. I said, I understand that you come from a very difficult background,
yeah,
okay, and there was a lot of abuse around you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, and what I'm feeling for you, what you're feeling toward me, and you're projecting into me, I'm feeling it too, but it's from the heart. It comes from
Mhm.
unconditional love.
Yeah.
It's not romantic, it's not sexual.
Exactly. And sometimes you're nice, not sometimes, I mean, you're open and you're nice to your students, obviously, and they just misread that. And it's just,
Yes.
they become sometimes
It's not,
delusional.
in Carl Gustav Jung wrote this book about projection, or romantic love and projection, and he explains it. And it's
Yeah.
because a lot of these individuals have not experienced true
Yeah, it's true.
ever
Yeah. When they feel that love
unconditional,
that you
and they
have for
feel unconditional
everybody.
love,
Yeah,
they respond
exactly.
with the kind of love that they know,
Yeah, exactly.
which
That's what it
is
is.
performance related.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
being so loving to me, I have to give you something back in return.
Yeah, yeah. Or they just don't experience, they don't know what to do with that love,
Yes,
because
yes,
and as we expand,
yes,
really the love that we radiate is different.
yes.
A lot of people don't hold as much love. So it's a lot of them experience it for the first time, and then they just think, it's romantic love. All of a sudden they feel they're in love, and
And,
you're also opening them up.
and I have to say to you, if there is projection, if someone is projecting that stuff in you, there will be a counter projection. In your head, you're going to be a little bit confused. Like, am I feeling romantic love? Because I'm feeling a connection to this person too. So where is the projection and where's the counter projection? But
Yeah,
make
no, what you have to do, I think, like have this, that's my rule.
Mm.
I will never be with a student,
That's
period.
it.
Like
That's it.
that's it. You have to put that rule, and you cannot cross
Yeah,
that. And and,
that's
and
it.
no
That's
matter
it.
what kind of projection they
Yeah,
send to you, it's
absolutely.
like you have that wall and you're like, nope, nope,
No,
nope, and that's
this
it.
is a
Yeah.
boundary that will not be crossed.
That will not be crossed. That's it. That's all you got to do. Otherwise, of course, I mean, we're all human, right?
Yes.
And beautiful people come into,
Yeah. And
with
they're paying
beautiful
attention
hearts.
to you. They're telling
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
thing.
So you have to have your boundaries set, and you're like, this is a big no, 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 and never will I cross that, and that's it. And then you're safe.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Now, you see this conversation we're having now, this is
Yeah,
a conversation for someone who's done emotional intelligence work
yeah,
and
yeah,
social intelligence work. Now, what my friend and I had coffee with this afternoon, she was talking about a teacher who, in their environment, there's a lot of intellectual knowledge.
yeah.
It's the first yoga, but there is none of that work.
Ah, yeah, yeah. That's
So the
difficult.
teachers themselves are doing the same thing, and the student, everybody's like, it's a free fall.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like you said, that's why a lot of the times these yogis, they get to a certain point where they have big followings. So
Yes.
many yoga teachers fall into that. And they also come to us, especially if they do yogic practices, like not just teaching yoga, but actual, breath work and whatnot. And they actually ascend at
Mhm.
the first level.
Yep.
and they can hold so much more light. They have a big following,
Yes.
but it's so easy for them at that point to fall from grace, and a lot of them do, and it's very
Yep.
sad
Yep.
because they don't know what to do with it because they have not done enough work, I guess,
They haven't
in
done
that manner.
a
The
second
Dantian
yoga.
work, I think, is big
Yes.
because if you haven't tamed your sexual energy, then you're in you know,
Yep.
it's hard for especially, I guess, males. Both, I guess, doesn't matter, male or female. They can both fall. Yeah,
This particular teacher we were talking about is female.
there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Can be both abused.
Yep.
Yeah.
And somebody very famous. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm sure
Lots of following, lots of people. And
that's where.
and
Yeah,
but again, I know that work, which is the
yeah,
emotional, social,
yeah.
spiritual intelligence, is very tough because
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean,
you have to go into places that
yeah,
nobody wants to go into. Okay?
exactly.
And hold yourself accountable and be honest and look at your own past, your trauma, and all that stuff. But
Oh,
it's
100%.
essential because if you don't do it, you will not go forward.
Yeah,
You
100%.
will
That's
fall into all
huge.
kinds of traps. And that's why
100%.
for all these years I insisted. And basically, because I insisted for so long, I lost more than half of my following and my studentship.
Yeah, yeah.
Because people don't want to do that work. It's not sexy enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. They want the energetic stuff, the breath
Oh
stuff,
yeah, it's true. The fluffy, the fluffy outside stuff.
good, not something that's going to make them face themselves.
Yeah. It's true. That is very true. What do you want, Gandalf? She wants to be a part of the conversation. What do you want? Sorry,
Yeah.
my cat is crying like crazy.
She's telling you're right, mommy.
Attention. I don't know what she wants.
You're right.
She's like, she wants to ascend too.
Yes, that's it. Any
But
other
yeah, no, I
questions?
100% agree with all of that.
Yes. Well, you're part of that light work. You understand it so well.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Okay. So, any questions, any other comments about this before we proceed further? So what I want to do now is that I want to have a further discussion about where we're going with the last two additional things or three additional things we covered. The first being that I am indivisible from God, and the idea of that indivisibility and what it implies, that you are the Ensof meaning you exist in a form of existence that predates the physical manifestation of all kinds, meaning going back before the multiverse even got created. And if you're that being, and if you're indivisible from that God, therefore all kinds of shift must occur in you. You have to go to multiple ego death because you're now admitting that you're going back to your first covenant or your first understanding or your true identity, that you are actually a God and goddess. Bible said it, ye are God, but know it not, right? So the idea of going to that primordial place implies a whole bunch of shift that has to occur in you. And again, many of us, when we approach this, we are repeating, and it's just word to begin with. I am indivisible from God. I am indivisible. And after repeating for a long time, it becomes an energetic shift. When you repeat it, you feel a very specific, different way in your own body or in the universe at large. Equally important is when you repeat, because we know what's holding us separated or having existed in a sense of fragmentation and separation from God. What's holding it in place is the idea and the concept that we are the shame and the undeservedness that the original receiver had for having been so entitled. First, it was being grateful initially, but over a period of time, it became entitled. receiving all these gifts from the giver, from the original giver, nonstop. Now, one of the ways to overcome this, and also overcome the test of the dweller on the threshold, is to repeat over and over again this concept of true gratitude, which is the deep and profound reverence for the gift received. Now, if you repeat this over and over again, and very quickly, it's going to shift you energetically in a completely different way. There is a very specific energetic signature, again, and frequency that this will create when you silently repeat it to yourself. While you're walking, while you're going to the groceries, while you're driving, while you're... I do it as a contemplation, well, I'm saying it correctly. Contemplation while I'm doing something else, okay? Or sometimes my eyes are closed and I'm saying it in meditation while I'm doing my breath work, like deep inhalation, the breath control. And I'm repeating it over and over again, and it shifts me completely. Everything becomes
What is it that you're repeating? Thank you for the blessings. I accept the gifts I receive with gratitude.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And as I do this, it shifts, it opens up all kinds of things inside of me, right? Now, this is me now saying since I'm indivisible from God, and if I am now in the second state of awareness of my descent, where I become now the infinite desire to receive, I am reconnecting myself back to gratitude. Because that statement is a statement of deep gratitude, deep and profound reverence for the gift received. This is me being grateful back to God for all the gifts and the endless, and even the obstacles, even the challenges, even the people who are trying to, and again, in my recent instance, it's a student projecting romantic relation. I'm blessing everybody, deep and poor. I'm blessing God for all the experiences, good, bad, and different. All of them are coming from God. God doesn't give blessing. Whatever resistance and challenge are presented, they are all ultimately for a greater good, if understood and processed in the right way. So I'm thanking God for everything whatsoever. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. Everything. Including my nemesis, the people who are trying to persecute me. I'm thanking God for all of them. Deep and profound reverence for all the gifts received. Because it's going to take me somewhat higher. I know this. And as you do this, it shifts and opens up all kinds of different possibilities for you. The third part, which is how you give and share. Because if we are part of us being indivisible from God, yet at the same time, and again, all these things are simultaneously happening. You're separated in 3D. At the same time, you're indivisible from God. And at the same time, you're also the original receiver. We have to stop being linear and realize we're multidimensional. And all these aspects are there simultaneously. And instead of seeing ourselves as a fixed point in time and space, but realize we exist in multiple locations at the same time. So as such, I have to understand that if I am this in that primordial state of being indivisible from God, I have to learn now, since you are also an aspect of me, of that original infinity times infinity, the original God, and all of us are aspect of that God. The whole point of the descent in creating the bubble of time, space, and physical universe is for us to learn how to give and receive from each other in a balanced manner. Is to learn how to give and receive from each other in a balanced manner. Okay? So we have to, so the gratitude, deep and profound reverence for the gift received, that's one aspect. maintain the gratitude, be grateful for all the gifts that you're receiving. It's you being receptive to receiving. I'm trying to be receptive to receiving, and I'm equally echoing God's reflection back to it by me being responding in the right manner to all the gifts that I'm receiving. Because a lot of time the gifts, as I said, are in disguise. What may appear as a curse or an attack turns out to be the greatest thing that ever happened to you. So deep and profound reverence for all the gifts received. Right? Now, on the other hand, I have to give from the right perspective. Now I'm going to have to give the same thing that God, or the giver, is doing. Since I am the giver, I'm indivisible from God, I have to learn how now to give to someone else so that they can mirror the gratitude back to me. I hope that makes sense. So when I'm doing this, I'm repeating to myself silently the same way as I'm doing for the gratitude. I am giving and sharing from infinity to infinity. And I am an open valve outpouring divine blessings. I'm going to repeat it again. I am giving and sharing from infinity times infinity. I am an open valve outpouring divine blessings. And the reason for this is for me, since I am now separated in my identity as a human being, it's for me to stop giving from my own resources and realize that I'm tapping into the gift I'm receiving from God and I'm letting it outpour for me and I'm sharing it with the rest of the world. It's not coming from my ego. It's coming directly from infinity times infinity.
Are we going to repeat these in the meditation?
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm outpouring this from God. I'm outpouring this from source. I'm letting source pouring all of this into me, and I'm sharing it with the world. And I'm letting the world so that, and I'm doing this now. Let's say, for example, somebody had asked me from a beggar on the street asking me for food just the other day, and I went to buy him food. But before, as I was about to respond to him, I repeated this silently to myself. I am giving and sharing from infinity times infinity. And I'm an open valve outpouring divine blessings. It's not Pierre that's doing this. It's the God that I'm indivisible with that's using me to do this. And therefore, I will never be depleted. I will never lack. I will never struggle. Because it's coming directly from God. And these kind of nuances, it may seem like I'm splitting hair, but it's extremely important. I can tell you from being a compulsive or former compulsive giver, okay, prior, to all of this insights, because for me, giving was a control mechanism. Having sustained so many abuse from my dad and witnessing so many things that my dad did that were abusive to myself and my whole family because he was an undiagnosed schizophrenic. And at the time, we didn't know this. We just thought that he was cruel. And because of this, my survival mechanism is that I will not receive, not from him, not from anybody else. And therefore, for me to control what I could control about not receiving, I will compulsively be always the one giving. And I was giving for myself, for my ego, not from infinity times infinity, but for myself. And I was getting empty. I felt that people were ungrateful. They didn't appreciate what I was giving. They were not, because I was expecting something back from them, which is the reciprocity that I thought they were going to give to me. But that wasn't always the case. Some instances people would say thank you, but that wasn't always the case. Or sometimes the thank you would be performative. It was not a real thank you. It came from an empty place. Or sometimes no thank you whatsoever. They just walked away. Again, entitled that it was what you were supposed to do. Because you're a good person and you're doing this because that's what you're so, instead of saying, thank you for helping me out. Does that make any sense?
Oh yeah, happened many times.
No. Yeah. And we need to understand this so that the whole point of us being in the physical 3D universe is for us to learn how to give and receive like God and goddesses, like we were indivisible from God. And if you're in a relationship, it doesn't matter if it's straight or gay, it's not relevant. If one person is the giver all the time and one person is the giver, there's going to be entitlement, there's going to be the same chaos is going to be created. The relationship will not last, not long term. There has to be one person will give to the partner, and the partner will have to reciprocate with gratitude or give back in some way where the first party will have now to receive with gratitude. And when that happens, the figure 8, the infinity symbol, is closed. The circle is complete. The circuit is complete, and God is happy, and everyone is happy. So in whatever relationship you're in, you have to learn how to be the giver and be the receiver. And if you're the receiver, give gratitude back. There are lots of things, particularly in romantic relationships, that people don't understand. That people, for example, the way when you're with your partner, the way you deal with your partner, there are different love languages. Some people want gifts, and that's the way they feel that you give them their thank yous. It doesn't have to be a diamond or ring. It could be a flower or a card, all right? There are other people who want words of affirmation. You look beautiful today. There are people who want you to sit with them, okay? Meaning watch even, a movie together. Be intimately next to each other. There are other people that want you to touch them, not sexual touch, but caressing and holding hand, right? And there are the people, I think I said all 5 of them. But whichever your love language is, if you don't know what the love language of your partner is, when you're in the intimate relationship with them, if you're giving them the love language that you know, let's say, for example, you sit together silently and watch a movie or do things together, that's the kind of love language that gives you a sense of being full with love. And your partner wants words of affirmation, wants you to say, you're very beautiful today. Or if it's a man, that you're so handsome, or I want to thank you again for all the great things that you've done with me. You're such a great provider. You've always taken care of me. So if you know what your partner love language is, you need to provide it. And if you don't know, you need to discover it. Because it's not enough to just energetically do this. Each one of us, depending on the kind of how we grew up in our family dynamic, we have a different love language. We have a different way of feeling that our partner appreciates us and feeling that we are loved. The touching is not sexual touching, but intimate caressing and touching. Okay? It's not the lewd kind. It's the kind that's more like a child would touch a mother, or like a mother would touch a child. That kind of like intimate, like you're precious and you're wonderful. I want you to understand this, because if you're in an intimate relationship and you don't understand this, and you're giving your partner the wrong kind of love language, even though we're practicing the giving and the receiving. If your partner doesn't want word of affirmation and it needs to be touched or need to be to be complimented or need to receive a gift and you're giving them the wrong thing, they're going to begin to wonder after a while that something is wrong. You're not loving them. So be aware of this in your interconnection with other being. And this is true of not just romantic relationship, but in general, our connection to other people too, friends and family members, like brothers, sisters, cousins. Certain people need to hear all the time that they are doing good. They are wonderful. Other people need you to just give them a hug, the filial kind of touch. Other people need to receive a small card, or even if it's one rose, a small gift. Is that making any sense?
Yeah, that's why communication is so important, because in relationships, because if you stop communicating, if you stop asking for, because sometimes the person, we can't assume that the person knows what we want. We have to explain a lot of the times in relationships, in long-term relationships at least, what our love language is, and then it's up to them to whether provide that or not, of course, but being open and communicating is important, I find, in long-term relationships.
Yep.
Well, you're growing up in a large family. I mean, we were taught to give and receive. I mean, that was just the way you exist. You know, my mom, there was always room for one more at the table. That's what she would say.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And our father, he said you pay as you go. I mean, when you are blessed to give, and people, need that, want that, or can use that, that's what you do. I mean, it was like, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do, right? You do, if you have the opportunity to do it, that's what you do. It's always a choice, but it was like, but that's what you do. And in our community, I grew up in a farm community. So whenever you had a good farm or a good crop of something, you would just share with your neighbor, and your neighbor would share with you. Once a year, they would kill animals, and sell some, and then you would kill some, and those were the ones that you cut up and stuff to secure you, and you shared it with your neighbors through the winter.
Mm-hmm.
So giving and receiving, I mean, it is good to think about it. But I mean, for me, it's just, it was something that you didn't need to think about. If you could do it, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it, I just see that as a way of life. And I mean, you don't let other people abuse you. You do have boundaries and those kinds of things. But and my father taught us about boundaries, and because he definitely set boundaries. And but I guess perspective around this is very helpful too, as well as choice around it is very helpful, because once you're an adult, you do have choice too, that we are given, as well as the blessings along with the choices and those kinds of things. But giving and receiving is it's like breathing. You breathe in life, and you breathe out what you don't need. It's just taking in, taking out, taking in, taking out. But anyway, I don't want to ramble on. But anyway.
Well, thank you, Esther, and I'm so happy for you that you had that great example. Your father sounds like an amazing man. I didn't grow up in that environment, that kind of environment. And although there were four of us, but my father was so toxic and so abusive. That's not what I saw. It was always about lack and not having, and worried about when you're going to get this and how you're going to do that and how we're going. And I agree with you with the part about the crops, because we had some land, and my cousins would come once every few months, every 6 or 7 months, when the crops gave stuff with all these, let's say, bananas or crops, whatever they were. There was no way we could have used all of it in the time allotted. You need to share it with the world, otherwise it's going to go bad. If you don't share it with the neighbor, it's going to go bad. Simple as that.
Right.
You're going to have to throw all of it out. If you kill an animal and you need to share it with people, right? So that part I understand very well. But in terms of, and there are people who grew up as being the only child in the family, so it might be very hard for them to understand that concept. And I deeply, you're so lucky to have had that kind of example in front of you, because for me, it was a completely different thing. I saw abuse and reward and punishment. And the crazy thing is that when you're dealing with somebody that's mentally ill, you don't even know if it's a reward or a punishment that's coming.
Yes, sure.
Because you don't know what kind of mood that they're in and how the mood is going to change from one second to the other, because the person is mentally unstable. So I remember when my dad was coming home, he had a whole a Beetle, the old-fashioned Volkswagen Beetle, a blue one. Every time the car was coming, my mother was running after us. Behave, your dad is coming, be careful. Let's not set him up. It was always the same thing. And it's like walking on eggshell, right? It was always walking on eggshell. And so for me to learn how to give from source instead of trying to give from myself, which is what I did as a survival mechanism. And what happened with survival mechanism, I started doing this when I was 4 years old. If you keep doing it long enough, it becomes a fragmented psyche. It automatically occurs. Even though sometimes I'm giving to people, because now it's a control mechanism for me. This is the way I feel that I'm in control. So I don't have any boundaries around what I'm giving. I may be giving to somebody I know is toxic and I should walk away from them, but that's the way I'm going to control the relationship. And it's completely toxic. I know it and I hate myself for doing it, but I can't stop it until I have this new understanding now that I have to give from God. Right?
Well, I certainly can understand that too. Yeah. Because I've dealt with quite a range of people over my lifetime too, other than the ones that I grew up with. I mean, especially in my adult life, dealing, with people with compulsive behaviors, as well as mental illnesses and relationships, so yeah. I get it too.
And this is the point of becoming an ascended being. As you become ascended, you begin to see, and that's the reason why I wanted to have this conversation with you, to prepare you. You begin to see behind the veil of what people are not telling you. I was talking to a friend, my friend today. He had introduced me to this other man, and the man was holding a whole bunch of secrets that he didn't tell me. And we were at a restaurant, and he had sat me. He was late. He came and sat next to me. And as he was talking, I saw all kinds of things about him that was not part of the conversation. And after that, I went and shared it with my friend. And my friend was like unaware of all these things. Or some of it, actually, my friend confirmed. Like information I couldn't possibly have known.
Yeah.
I sometimes even hear people, it's so weird. Does that happen to you too? Like what people have in their heads, what they're saying?
Yes.
You hear that too? I do too. It's crazy.
Yes. In this instance, okay, so there was a conversation. There was a lively conversation. There's a big table at this restaurant, big table, a lot of people around it. This man was sitting next to me. I had to be in his proximity. And what happened? Every time he spoke, what he looked like to me, it looked like, you know how you're looking at a subtitle, a movie that's sub from Chinese into English?
Yeah.
His lips is moving. I see no sound.
But you hear something else.
The sound is behind him. That's why I was so, when it first began to happen, I'm like, what's going on? And it took me a minute to realize that he was fractured deliberately.
Yeah.
Some dark thing was done around him that fractured him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was no way for me to have known this. I sat through the whole thing looking at him and saying, what's going on? Why is it like, he's talking, but I see his lips move before the voice comes.
So funny.
Crazy, yeah. And when I focused on it, I was able to get the insight, and I shared it with my friend, and she was like, oh my God, Pierre, he did tell me something happened, and every time he tried to explain it to me, he burst into tears crying. So that's what I mean about information.
Yeah, and then sometimes information just drops and you're like, oh.
Yes.
You're like, what the heck?
and you have to use that information with love.
Yeah, exactly.
With wisdom.
Not with judgments. That's
not
right.
with judgment, because you're going to see people's vulnerability. You're going to see their flaws.
You do, and you even see what they are saying in their head. It's crazy, honestly.
You're seeing things
without even, you don't even want that.
It just happens. You're not trying.
I'm not trying. It just happens. Yes. And you're like, oh my God,
it's because you're getting elevated. And as it gets to the point, you need to understand that and be kind and be loving.
Yeah.
Okay, and understand that even if you see a flaw in someone, remember at some point that was you.
It's true. And sometimes you hear things what they say about you, and you're like,
yes,
right?
Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I forgive you. It's okay. It's okay. I'm still sending you love.
Yeah.
Because where you are right now with your struggle, the jealousy you're projecting toward me, you're saying this because you're envious. The jealousy you're projecting toward me, it's because you're not in that state. I still love you.
That's true.
I still love you.
Sometimes that's the hard parts that I find. Sometimes when you hear what they say in their head and you're like, what? and sometimes people that you're helping, you're like,
what's
wrong with you, right?
It's exactly right. That's exactly
right.
Most of the time, the people you're trying to rescue are holding these very...
They're the ones who... It's like, what on earth?
And this is part of ascension. You need to understand that you're still projecting love toward them. Because if you knew better, because you're not hurting me, you're hurting yourself.
That's true.
You're not hurting me, you're hurting yourself. Because that's a huge blockage. That's a karma you're going to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Because if you knew better, you wouldn't be thinking that way. But because of where you are emotionally, I understand that. And I'm still going to love you. And I'm still going to be kind. I had an early conversation.
Well, I can relate.
Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I can relate to that. No. I say I can relate to that too, because, there was a point when I did counseling and those kinds of things. And, but my rule was, as long as you're telling me your truth, I want to hear it.
Yes.
It's not that I believed it. I wanted to, and you could say anything about me as long as you felt it was your truth.
Yes. Yes.
And we could talk about it.
Yes.
And, that tended to work out pretty good. The other thing that I used to do is that I used to say people do what they know.
Yep.
And they couldn't do nothing else.
Yep.
So, and it's not that they did good things all the time, but that's just what they know.
Yeah. Yeah, totally, totally. Again, if they knew better, they would do better.
That's what I think.
Yes, yes,
Most of the time, they bite themselves in the butt, anyways, unfortunately, and you see it unravel. It's very sad.
yes,
Their karma is right now, it's insanely fast.
yes.
And when they do stupid stuff that's sometimes mind-boggling, they literally bite themselves in the butt because
That's why
immediately, not too long after, you see them fall away and,
this is why you have
crumble
to,
away. And because they did something, I honestly believe that when they try to do something really silly, that is mind-boggling to someone who's doing good work and comes from a place of open heart and trying to do good in this world, I feel the karma done against that person, it just, I don't know, it just reflects in a different way. It just really messes them up, and I see people fall away. And not because I wish them, sometimes I don't even know until things happen and I'm like, oh my God. And then the information comes, oh, this person this did to you, and then this happened to them, and you didn't even, it's not, it hasn't even crossed my mind, or I did not wish them anything bad. It's just their own karma right in my face with their own doing. It's pretty sad but crazy too, how fast it happens.
yes, because right now we're living to the quickening. So it's,
Yeah, it's very it's like this.
yes, it's
So
true,
yeah,
authenticity and transparency. So
exactly.
if you, and I appreciate what both of you are saying, because you're right, Esther, is that if you really believe in that this is true right now, this is how you feel at the moment. And everyone has the right to their own feeling. So
Yeah.
you can feel this way today, but this is why I'm even more compassionate to the people I see struggling, because I know how quickly this stuff is going to turn around.
Yeah, it's insane. It's really, wow, pretty mind-boggling.
And I end up being more compassionate and more in my heart.
I feel sad. Yeah, it's a sad thing. It's
Yes.
a sad thing to do, that they have to feel that they need to do that, because we know better that, if you do something.
And more importantly as well, you're doing your torsion field, you're in neutrality.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
No negative energy can enter your field.
Yeah,
As long as you're in the torsion field, it will bounce right off because it's 0 point energy. It will not touch you.
yeah.
So
I believe that.
that's intended or that's projected, that's otherwise whatever, it will bounce off.
It does, and it
Yeah.
does, because they do some action, which is so, and then you put it together afterwards,
Yes,
which, I mean, it's to harm you actually,
yes,
and for no reason.
yes.
And then it bounces back so quick, and somebody lost their jobs from all the places they worked in because of some stupid actions they did, which I realized afterwards that what they did, and I was like, wow.
Well,
And it's,
and again, because you're being neutral,
yeah,
you're
exactly.
being kind, you're being neutral,
Yeah,
and people are doing it for jealousy.
or jealousy. That's exactly what it is. It is insane.
It's
Like,
jealousy.
But
why?
the
We
other,
all can share. Like, what is this jealousy thing? It's like, oh,
yeah.
so
Because
The other
sad.
thing that I found out is that when you, at least for me, when I'm doing what I know is the right thing and feel is the right thing, and if somebody's going to harm me, somebody always tells me. It always happens.
yeah.
It comes to me, and usually somebody will just come up and say, Esther, did you know? Or Esther, this is what they're saying, or Esther, this is, it just comes clear.
Mhm.
Usually, if
Yeah,
somebody's
yeah,
going
it
to
feels like they can't hide
intentionally
stuff from
harm.
us. It's true, the information always comes.
Yeah, yeah.
Even with my ex,
It,
Raphael, he used to say, I will never hide anything from you because you'll know anyways.
yes.
It's true. I knew everything. He could never say a lie. And if he did, I would always find out.
He
That's
was the
funny.
thing about it as well. And I've said this to many people before. That's why I'm not in a relationship right now, because no one can take the intensity.
Because you know everything.
That's
It's
funny
true.
too.
I do know too. What goes in his head, what he says in his head,
I think
everything.
all I have to do is to go to sleep. Everything I see, everything I dream.
That's funny
It's the
too.
truth. It's the truth.
They can't hide
But
from us. They
what?
can't do anything wrong. They can't think anything wrong because we know.
But
It's scary
once
for a
I
lot of
know
people.
when I ran the medical triage detoxification center, some people were so jealous. Caucasian guys actually in the medical field.
Mhm.
They plotted to close down the facility
Mm.
on a Saturday night at 3 o'clock
Mm.
to embarrass me.
Mm.
And there were people in the facility needing medical services, and it was full, 25 beds,
Mm.
but they still was planning it. And somebody called me at 1 o'clock in the morning
Mm.
on that night and said, Esther, do you know they're planning on closing down the facility at 3 o'clock? Because what they were doing is telling the medical staff not to come in.
Mm.
And if you don't have the appropriate, coverage,
Yes.
you have to close it down. It's an emergency. And I remember I just could not believe it. And these were people that I worked with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, jealousy is a
So
sad thing. It's so sad. People can not share. People, we should all thrive together. What is this jealousy thing, right? It's craziness.
yeah, I mean, I had that happen quite a bit to me because well, actually, I did have a position that other Black people, at least in this state, didn't have, and especially a woman.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, people didn't expect me to be able to do it, but when I did it, they still could not believe that I did it.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, they wanted to work to undermine,
Mm-hmm.
the facility,
Yes.
which they saw as undermining me.
Yes. 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 I understand. I understand. And I had to tell you that this is why I'm sharing all of this with you. That will expand and get bigger. You
Yeah.
will know more, you will understand more, and you need to be more compassionate and more forgiving. Of course, you don't let people trick you because the awareness that God is giving you is for a reason. I remember I'm being in intimate relationships where I went to sleep. And in the morning, who is so and so? First name as last name. You freak people out. I remember people running and saying, you're practicing black magic. How the hell do you know this?
Yeah.
There is no black magic.
But,
It's exactly the opposite. It's the light that I'm holding. That's
yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yeah, it's
That's
true.
exactly what it is. It's the light.
You know everything, and if they're not ready for it, they're scared of it.
Yeah, and people run away. They're like, oh, we can't be together anymore. This is not working out. I'm not. It's fine. It's okay. It's all right. I'm here because of a very specific purpose. I had told you, many of you, this in 2010 and 11, that in this lifetime, because I've been trying to do this for almost 5,000 years with all of you, because we've reincarnated multiple times together. I have linked my ascension with you because this is the mistake I made in past lives. Because I tried to do this alone. I have linked myself and I'm going to wait till we can do this as a team, shoulder to shoulder together. And this is what I'm trying to teach you now. We have to do this together. And as we do this together, we are going to create this opening, this opening that Lord Melchizedek had guided us in that channeling in 2010, create an opening into the heavens by us being the actual drill bit, basically, to open this, break the crust of 3D reality, 4D into 5D, so that a column of light can be created to connect to a network that already exists from the planetary level into the solar, from the solar into the galactic, from the galactic to multi-universal, to the multi-universal into the cosmic, to the cosmic into God. So that's what we're trying to do. The network already exists beyond the planetary level, but there's such density, everything is so toxic and so thick. We all volunteer to come here when we receive the clarion call to do this together. And I'm more than happy to share, to herald, to do whatever is necessary to corral us into doing this incredible work. Any other questions or comments? All right, let's take a 5-minute break and then we'll do the closing meditation. We're going to do, as I said, a torsion field, but a slightly different version of the torsion field with the deep and profound reverence for the gift received. Okay?
So is this how we're going to do the torsion field from now on? Is that the updated version?
Yes, that's an updated version for now, for the part that we're trying to learn. Okay? Yes, for now. I'll send the recordings out tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Five minutes. Take a very deep and slow breath. And as you inhale and exhale deeply and slowly, allow the universal life force that permeates everything to enter into your lungs. Keep breathing deeply and slowly.
There's a strange noise, sorry, in the background.
Yeah, I know. And let your soul and your awareness drop in the middle of your chest. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Please forgive me. I love you. And I let go. Let your mind and your heart sync with each other. And notice what you noticed. I am indivisible from God. I am indivisible from God. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. And the guardian alliance of light approached us, offering to gift us their shields of light and protection and a band of neutrality. If you are ready to accept this gift at this time, answer affirmatively and let the energy of the first guardian begin in the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of your feet, passing through you, exiting at the top of your head and into the top of your fourth dimensional chakra system, creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends and it attracts down the energy of the second guardian, coming in from the top of your fifth dimensional chakra system, rotating clockwise, passing through you, exiting at the bottom of your feet and into the core of the earth, and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends and it attracts down the energy of the third guardian, coming from the core of the earth, counter-rotating, moving through your core and central axis, exiting outside of your head into the top of the sixth dimensional chakra system, and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends and it attracts now the energy of the fourth guardian, coming down from the top of the seventh dimensional chakra system, rotating clockwise, passing through your core, exiting at the bottom of your feet and into the core of the earth, and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the fifth guardian, counter-rotating, coming in from the core of the earth, passing through the bottom of your feet, exiting outside of your head, into the top of the 8-dimensional chakra system, creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of your head extends and it attracts now the energy of the sixth guardian, cascading down from souls, passing through your core, exiting at the bottom of your feet into the core of the earth, and creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of your feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the seventh guardian, counter-rotating, coming in from the core of the earth, moving through the bottom of our feet, passing through our core, exiting at the top of our head and into the top of the 10th dimensional chakra system, while creating all around you a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of our head extends and it attracts now the energy of the eighth guardian, coming in from souls, rotating clockwise, descending from the top of the 11th chakra system, passing through us in our core, exiting at the bottom of our feet and into the core of the earth, and creating all around us a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of our feet extends and it just rocks down the energy of the ninth guardian, counter-rotating, moving in from the core of the earth, passing from the bottom of our feet, exiting outside of our head and exiting on the top of the 12 dimensional chakra system. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the top of our head extends and it attracts now the energy of the 10th guardian, cascading down from souls, passing through the top of the 13th dimensional chakra system, moving into a core, rotating clockwise, descending into the core of the earth, and creating all around us a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gift received. The axis at the bottom of our feet extends and it attracts now the energy of the 11th guardian, counter-rotating, moving through the bottom of our feet from the core of the earth, passing through our central axis, exiting outside of our head, and creating at the top of the 14th dimensional chakra system a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gifts received. The axis at the top of our head extends and it attracts now the energy of the 12th and final guardian, rotating clockwise, coming in from the top of the 15th dimensional body, passing through us, exiting at the bottom of our feet and into the core of the earth, and creating all around us a torsion field of neutrality. Deep and profound reverence for the gifts received. I am indivisible with God. I am indivisible with Source. I am indivisible with infinity times infinity. The Father, Mother, and I are one. I am that I am. I am giving and sharing from infinity times infinity. and I am an open valve, outpouring divine blessings. I am giving and sharing from infinity times infinity. And I am an open valve, outpouring divine blessings. I am giving and sharing from infinity times infinity. And I am an open valve, outpouring divine blessings. Hosanna into the highest. Hosanna into the highest. Hosanna into the highest. Take a very deep and slow breath. And whenever you feel ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you, Pierre.
You're welcome, Janice.
If you want to send me the audio file, I can remove the noise.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Deep love and gratitude to all of you. I love you so much. Thank you for walking the path with me. We're almost there, friends. Love you all. Thank you on Patreon and on YouTube. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Love you so much. Blessing, and I'll talk to you next week.
Love you, family. Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everyone. Love you all.